I'm just going to wait for this to pop up on Twitch. But hello, welcome to my Voyager costume live stream this Saturday. I'm Voyager Costume. Today we're going to be working on something different than last week. If you were here last week, you would have seen I worked on my Yukato wig, Yukato from Cardcaptor Sakura. But this week I'm working on my other Hyper Japan cosplay, which is Haru from the Studio Ghibli movie The Cat Returns. You can see her up there. I've actually been sewing this evening and yesterday evening working on the waistcoat of her school uniform, but for this live stream I'm just going to be cutting out and maybe starting to assemble the skirt. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stream for today, so because I've had a very busy week. If you don't follow me on YouTube or any of my other social media, then you won't have seen that I filmed an entire CMV this week with the help of my friends True Lab Films and Arthulian Cosplay. It was a CMV of It's Over Isn't It, the song from Steven Universe with Pearl, my own cover of it, a special design of Pearl by a Tumblr user called Identity Pollution, who you should check out as well. And yeah, I did that for Pride because if you don't know, today is Pride in London, which unfortunately I couldn't go to because I had work. But it was really nice to make something, well, I've been working on it for several weeks, but to actually make it this week something to celebrate Pride. So that was really nice. So far I haven't seen myself come up live on Twitch. Here I am. That's great. Hi Tiny T Voices, thank you for tuning in. Oh, I'll turn off the sound on here. Yes, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. I've now got the chat open so we can get started. Yep, as in case you missed it when I first started, I am working on Haru from The Cat Returns and I'm going to be making a school uniform skirt. Today I'm going to be making a circle skirt and I will try my best to explain what I'm doing as I do it. Also, you have to forgive, I'm going with natural lighting today because it's so bright. But my webcam seems to really not be enjoying this dark fabric, so we're going to have to just see how that goes. Yeah, hopefully you guys can still see what I'm doing, even if it does get a little bit washed out at times. So working in the circle skirt is not actually that difficult. It's a bit mathsy, but it's not actually that hard once you get used to it. Yep, Tiny T, hi, I recognise you from the streams. Thank you very much for tuning in, for coming over here from my old casual streams that I used to do on Saturday nights. But yeah, speaking of casual streams, I am going to be doing one on my side channel, Jenny Outfits, on Monday. I didn't end up doing one this Monday just because I was really exhausted from my final week of uni. So I wanted to take that day off. It's going to be my only day off like the whole week because of everything that I've been doing with the Pearl CMV. But yeah, I should be doing that on Monday night and then it will be probably 2 Mondays afterwards, fortnightly or so. I'll tweet when I'm going to be doing them. But these are every Saturday night. Alright, yes, so circle skirts. You really need like 3 basic measurements to make a circle skirt with a nice waistband. Hi True Love, thank you for tuning in. It's nice to see you. Yes, so you need basically 3 measurements, or that's how I do it. I get my waist circumference, the length I want my skirt to be, and the height that I want my waistband to be. With those you can generally work everything out. I also say that I use a 2.5 centimetre seam allowance and hem and stuff, so I'll walk you quickly through the calculations. I did it earlier, before I started this stream, just so I could walk you through them quickly rather than working them out. But yeah, because you have your waist circumference, it is basically just the measurement of your waist. I like to do it when I'm sort of like relaxed and my tummy is out so that I know it's going to be comfortable, because you don't want it to be too tight. By the way, I'm doing this with a zip. If you were doing an elasticated waistband, you would use slightly different measurements. You'd use your lower hip or your widest point around your hips for this inner measurement, but I'm using the waist because I'm going to be putting a zip up the back because I want it to look more like how a school uniform skirt is normally made. But it's quite full in the animation, which is why I'm going to do a whole circle skirt, and then I'm going to see whether I need to just cut some little pie slices out of it to make it a bit less full. But I think a full circle skirt is actually going to be quite nice. But yeah. So basically what you're going to be cutting out is like a donut shape, but what I've done is I've cut my fabric into fours. So there's the corner there, you can see it's folded. And I've made it a bit longer than what I've worked out my final measurement will be. Hi McKees, thank you very much for tuning in. Yeah, so what you're going to be doing is working out what the size of your big circle is, and then working out what your donut hole is going to be, basically, if that makes sense to you guys. So to work out my donut hole, it's my waist diameter. So whatever size your waist circumference is, the measurement of your waist, you're going to divide that by pi, or 3.1415 is generally as far as I go on it. You could do it less, you could do like 3.14 or something in your calculator, or if your calculator has pi as a function, you can just do it like that. I worked out that for a 70 centimetre waist, which is my waist, when I'm sort of comfortably relaxed, is 22.3. So that's going to be how big my little circle is. My donut hole is going to go half of that, in fact, because what I want then is my radius. So that's something that I actually forgot to do. So my waist radius, so these are actually, I did this slightly wrong because I was in a rush. So half of 22.3 would be approximately 11.2. I like to round up a little bit rather than down, so it would be 11.15, but 15 millimeters is like really hard, so I'm just going to go with 11.2 centimeters. So yeah, these calculations are a little bit wrong, but it's fine because we'll just work them out again. So the waist diameter plus the skirt length, so I measured basically how long I wanted the skirt to go from my waist down to my thigh, which was 39 centimeters. So my waist diameter, so what I want is my waist radius, which is 11.2, half of the waist diameter. If you know the equation to find out the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, or pi d, so 2 times pi times your radius, or pi times your diameter. So yeah, basically if you divide your circumference by pi and then by 2, you get your radius. I feel like I'm doing a weird little maths lesson. TrueLab is apparently inspired to make like 20 skirts already. Yeah, so I've got my radius of 11.2. So that's how much I'm going to go down to go around this little donut hole. Let's see if I can... The camera's just a bit too far out. Let's see if I can... There you go, that's a little bit better. So it's just going to come out 11.2 centimeters, around like that, and cut that away. And then to work out where from here our like the outside of our donut is going to be. Tiny T's like, wow, this is super confusing. It's not that bad. To be honest, I'm going a little bit back and forth. I'm not the best at explaining it. There's probably some great tutorials online because I'm thinking of this as I go. I'm probably going about it a slightly confusing way. TrueLab's like, love me that math. And Mickey said, hashtag Voyager maths lesson. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to add our waist radius to our skirt length. So it's going to be 11.2 plus 39. So that's going to be 50.2 centimeters. So then I will do a big circle going 50.2 centimeters down and up and around. So hopefully that makes sense to you. It might make a bit more sense once I actually start doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin the fabric. I've got a couple of little pins holding it in place where I've cut it into 4s. Not that I've cut it into 4s, I've folded it into 4. So I fold it into quarters. Now first of all I'm going to pin my outer circumference, so the outside of the donut. And I'm going to do that just by using my tape measure. And I've found 50 centimetres there, and I'm going from the point and I'm going to 50.2, which is just there. I'm actually going to put my thimble on for this because I can't find my long pins, my thicker pins, which would be better for this fabric. I'm using a cotton twill even, not drill. And it's very thick, especially going through 4 layers. Hi Tringlio, thank you very much for tuning in. It's nice to have you. Are you a new face or are you from my old streams as well? I don't recognise your name, but it's very nice to have you. But yes, this cotton twill is very thick, especially with 4 layers. It's the sort of stuff that like blazers, school blazers and stuff like that are made from if you're from somewhere that has school uniforms. It's definitely what British school uniforms feel like they're made out of. So I thought, for me, it felt very authentic. So yeah, now what I'm doing is I'm pulling it in a straight line. I'm making sure the corner of the tape measure is in the very corner, like so. And then I am finding 50.2. In fact, I'm going to go there. I'm going to have a closer one. And I'm just popping in a pin. I'm trying very hard to get it through all the fabric layers. Basically, what this is doing is not only marking where I'm going to be cutting around like this, but it's also holding all 4 layers in place so they like won't move around. Oh, Tringlio is Tia Rose. Oh, hi there. Thank you very much for tuning in, Tia. Tiny T said, I think almost every school in Britain has a school uniform. Yeah, they do. But not everyone who watches my YouTube channel, for sure, is from the UK. Get a lot of Americans and stuff like that. So, you know, never knew what the people who are watching this, where they might be from. They might not have to wear blazers, which I would have been very envious of back when I was at school. Thought they were really annoying. But yeah, so they're holding the fabric together so it doesn't move around while I'm cutting it. Mickey said, same with Brazil, always forced to use uniform. Yeah, I think more places have uniform than don't, right? Like, but yeah, it's never fun, especially when it's hot. It's been really hot in the UK, again, the last few days. We're not used to, well, I say it's really hot for, it's really hot for Britain. Some people are like, oh, Britain is so weak. It's like always 30 degrees here. It's like, yeah, but we're just not designed for it. We're just not made for this sort of weather. Tiny T said that 4th to 6th year have to wear blazers at their school. That's fair enough then. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to at primary school. Like, so 4th to 6th year at primary school didn't have to, but secondary school I did. And apparently it's also raining for Tiny T. You're in Scotland, aren't you? Which unfortunately doesn't always have the best weather. Even for British standards. I know I have friends who don't, well, family who don't live as far north as Scotland, but live further north, and it's quite rainy a lot of the time there. So I think the further north you go, whereas if you go down to places like Cornwall and Brighton, they get a lot of nice weather actually. Oh, Tiny T said I was talking about secondary school anyway. Sorry, I forget that, like, some places they say, like, once you go to secondary school, you go back to, like, year 1 again, which I didn't do. All the schools in my area went, like, year 1 to 6 and then year 7 to 13. But yeah, no, that's fair enough then. And Fancia said that you had to wear black blazers even through the hot weather. Yeah, I had the same thing as well. We were navy blue, but equally uncomfortable. So yeah, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's a nice little trail of pins going around now. But yeah, luckily this uniform doesn't have a full blazer, although the other cosplay that I'm wearing to Hyper Japan is also a school uniform. It's Yukuto's school uniform, and that does have a blazer, which I made a couple of years ago, partly for my university portfolio. It was also for an Oran cosplay, Oran High School Host Club, because I wanted to make it myself, and it was really hard. I wasn't anywhere near experienced enough to do it. But, no, I say I wasn't experienced enough because I managed to do it, but, yeah, it was like a big leap for me to give that a go. Luckily it was I bought the pattern, so it had all the instructions of how to construct it as well. Otherwise I think I would have had a really hard time. But it worked out pretty well in the end. Even though the fabric I used wasn't amazing for it, I used 2 layers of very thin cotton rather than a thick cotton like this. But hey, I get to use it again now for Yukuto, so that's nice. Not too much further to go for this circle. A nice thing about circle skirts is because they're so full and kind of flowy. They're not, ooh, this pin is not happy. Bent a little bit. But yeah, they're a little bit forgiving in terms of things like the hem and stuff because they're so flowy. You can be a couple of millimetres out and it's not the end of the world. But still, that doesn't mean we don't try our best to be neat. But it's not as big a stress as something that's a bit more complicated to make. Tia said, I finally finished college now. Have you finished uni for the summer yet? Yes, I actually handed in my last essay of the year last Friday. So this has been my first week off for the summer. And I made sure that I got no rest at all because of working on the Pearl CMV. But it was really fun. I had a great time. And I'm really happy with how it came out. So that was worth it. But yes, I'm off now for the summer, which means all my like official summer stuff has kicked in. So it's more YouTube videos, every Friday for the next 3 months, which is exciting. And also, once I finish these Hyper Japan cosplays, I get to work on Link, and that is going to be like my whole summer. YouTube videos and working on Link. This is like my last summer holiday before I become one of those real grown-ups, because I finish university next year. So I'm planning to spend it doing my favourite things. Tiny Leo says, awesome, thank you, Tia. Tiny says, I've been off summer for 2 weeks now. Wow, you guys finished pretty early. It's like another week or so before schools finish in England. It's my best friend, He knows this stuff, so he told me the other day. Because he's a teacher. Tia would have finished earlier, but had a little bit of outstanding work. A little. Bless you. At least you managed to get it done in the end. Alright, so you can just about see it on the webcam that I have pinned my little circle, and that is going to guide me in cutting around outside here. In fact, I'm just going to put one here because it's a little sparse, and I think I would feel a bit more secure if I knew there was another pin there to guide me. Just to be extra, really. And then we can do, basically we'll be doing the same with the inner circle for our donut hole. So yeah, the maths I think is the most difficult thing for this. Except maybe putting in the zips. Zips are always a little bit fiddly. It's finally a little bit sunny outside of Tiny's house. Alright, so our inner circle is going to be 11.2 centimetres. This is going to take a lot less time. Actually, for our 2.5 centimetre seam allowance that we've got, it's actually going to come in a little bit. So it's going to be 11.2 minus 2.5, which is going to make it 11 minus 2.3, 8.7. So then that will give us the extra bit of seam allowance that we want at the top. Otherwise it's going to get wider because we'll dig into it, so. We're going to make that 8.7. I'm just going to make this a very quick circle to cut. McKee said, I wanted to ask, are you going to the casual streams on YouTube or here on Twitch? You can't really do casual streams on Twitch because of their rules and stuff. And my intention anyway was to do them on my side channel, Journey Outfits. I don't really want them on my main channel anymore, but I do enjoy doing them. It's just that they're not really in line with the sort of content that I want to have on Voyager. So, because I put a lot of effort into the stuff I produce for Voyager. So they were kind of a little bit, I don't know, I don't quite know what the word is, but they just didn't quite fit with the vibe that I wanted, and the appearance, and the persona that I wanted that channel to have. So yeah, those are going to go over on Journey Outfits. There will be one on Monday, probably at around 9 o'clock. I'll tweet exactly when it's going to be. I'll decide tomorrow. And I'll tweet it. But yeah, they're going to be over on Journey Outfits. So if you've not subscribed to my side channel yet, you should head over and click it and subscribe. You can search Journey Outfits, or it's on as featured channel over on my main channel. So it's easy enough to find. Tia said that's odd. Oh, Tia said I'm liking the new times of streams, by the way. Me too. Me too. It's a bit nicer. I don't really know what... I think I thought 10 o'clock would be more international friendly. For everyone who is not from this side of the pond. But it wasn't very good for me, because I was doing them on Saturday, and Saturday I also have work. So I come home from work, and then right now what I do is I eat, I set up what I'm going to do for the live stream, and then I live stream. Although I actually did some sewing before this, so I had I have a couple of hours to sort myself out. But yeah, I was having like a full day at work, and then staying up. By the time I did all the formatting on the live streams and stuff like that, I ended up not sleeping until after midnight, which I'm trying to do a bit less of these days. So yeah, it's nice with this. Obviously last week I ended up staying quite late. It's up quite late because I had problems with the with actually exporting this live stream over to YouTube, which was a bit annoying. I think it was just a problem with my internet connection though, because the next morning it went through absolutely fine. So hopefully this one will go over fine after this stream as well. I'm also not going to go as late. I'm probably only going to do maybe an hour and a half, which is probably what I'm going to do a lot of the time. Although it's a little bit of a sort of like, see how much I feel like doing, see what I'm working on, that kind of thing. But yeah, I won't do any more than an hour and a half today. I might only do an hour actually, we'll see. Just because it's been a very busy week. McKee said, I am subscribed already, I just wanted to make sure. Oh, fair enough. But yeah, no, that was sort of more of a general thing for everyone if they've not subscribed already. Tia said, oh, I know this was a while ago, but did you like the fan art I did for you? Which fan art was yours, Tia? I've had some absolutely wonderful fan art and I've liked every single one. I genuinely have. Tiny T said, did you like the whale shark picture I did? Yeah, that was cute. Was it the whale shark thinking about me? Which was very cute. Yes, Tia, which fan art was yours? I have loved absolutely every single one, but I'm just trying to remember which one I should be attaching your name to. I want to print out some more actually and put them on my wall as well. Actually, will be nice. But oh yes, as you can see guys, I've now also pinned that one, so we're going to cut this out. I'm just getting my scissors because I left them on the other side of the room. T said, the one with you doing the peace sign and Metaton by your side. Oh, where did you send that to me? I'm not 100% sure that I've seen it and I definitely want to. Mickey said, I was thinking about doing a fan art for you, but I'm a terrible artist. Honestly, it doesn't matter, like I'm sure, A, that you're better than you think you are, and also, it doesn't matter, like, I'm not expecting to be receiving any Mona Lisas. It's just absolutely lovely that anyone would want to make something for me. Like, it genuinely makes me a little bit emotional, because it's so sweet that any of you guys would like my stuff, the things that I do, enough to make fan art. Genuinely really warms my heart, which is why I've started printing them out. So I started saving some more and I've got new printer ink finally, so I'm going to print them out. Tiny T said there's a really cool fan art on the AMINO with the penultimate scene of Hard to Be a Star. Yes, I saw that one. I thought it was really cool. I've saved that one to print. That was the Control Telcast, I think is their name on the AMINO. Yeah. Tia said it was a couple of weeks ago. I will find it again for you. Thank you. Please do send it to me. It might be that it just passed under my radar and I didn't get the notification properly. Mickey said, I'll try to do something in the future. Can't say when, but I'll definitely do it. Oh, awesome. Best of luck, and I look forward to seeing it if and when you do it. But no pressure. Alright, so what we're doing is we're just cutting along the outside here. Ooh. Tough fabric. 4 layers of cotton twirl. And yep, we're just cutting in as smooth a circle as we can. Just on the outside so you can see it's still pinned together there. Which is what we want do want it to all be pinned together because I'm actually going to have to cut up one side. But yeah, did you guys watch my new CMV that I put up yesterday? And if so, what did you think of it? I know all the people in the chat are from YouTube. If there's anyone watching who isn't from YouTube and doesn't watch my stuff there, then please do head over and check it out. I just released a new cosplay music video. Hi Matilda, thank you very much for tuning in. Tiny T hasn't watched it yet. Oh, well, I hope you enjoy it when you do. I'm really proud of it. I got to do a lot of really cool stuff, like use green screens, a film on location, although that was very challenging. Filming in Hyde Park in the summer when absolutely the entire world and its mother were all there. Woo! That was an arm exercise. Matilda said they really loved it. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yep, here we are guys, we've got our nice little pie slice. We're going to turn it into a donut by cutting this one, and this one we're cutting just on the inside of the pins so that they are also still in there. There we go. McKee said, it was great. I commented on YouTube, my detailed opinion, but everything was awesome. Yes, I read your comment and it was absolutely lovely, McKee, so thank you very much. I think I replied to it, or at the very least I liked it. Tiny T saw the green screen on Twitter. Did it take a long time to iron the green screen? It did, and so much effort. I had to kind of improvise a larger ironing board with my table covered in towels so that it wouldn't damage the table when I was ironing, because I just couldn't think of another way to do it. So that was very difficult, but it was worth it because it meant that the green screen actually worked. If it had had all those really big creases in it from being like packaged to be delivered, it wouldn't have worked. So yeah, I'm glad that that actually worked out in the end. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, just to explain, is that because I am putting a zip in the skirt, I am putting a seam in skirt, and to do that I am just cutting up the side. I'm only going to be using like a centimetre seam allowance from that, which just means that I can, well no, I'll do a regular seam allowance on that, and I'll just take that a little bit lower, so that's fine because we have a little bit of extra. I put a little bit of extra on the bottom from what I actually wanted the length to be. Matilda said that must have been a pain to iron. It was. I think I was genuinely in pain by the end of it. It was a bit tiring, but it was fine. And yeah, I think it worked out well. It was my first time using a green screen, so I made a couple of little mistakes, but TrueLab did a great job of filming me for that. I've got like a message up here. I've got a friend request from TrueLab. We are now friends. And I just got a message from Tia saying that the chat wasn't working, but they were watching the stream. But obviously it started working now, so that's good. See, apparently you guys can send me whispers. I don't know much about Twitch yet, but that's quite cool. So we're just taking the pins out now. And this will be our skirt, which is really cool. I'll probably be chalking some lines on here. Like my seam allowance and stuff. Yep, so that's, ooh. Yep, can you guys see that in the small camera there? It's a lot of skirt. It might actually be too much. Ooh. Oh, I forget that it's a little bit tight because of the seam allowance, so I'm just gonna try and hold it a little lower down and see how that works. True Lab, wow, I'm finally friends with Voyager. Yes, we're finally actually friends. Okay, so I think you guys can see there's quite a full skirt. I don't know, it might technically be a little bit much for Haru's outfit. I might end up taking a bit of the skirt out actually. I think I can do, if I go, take some out of the back. Probably take a little bit out of each side or something. Maybe not. I'll see. I think I'll construct the skirt and then I'll have a look. Because, hey, it's anime and maybe I can just have a bit more of a floofy skirt. It's not even floofy really because I don't know how well you can see it because of the table. It's more just kind of voluminous, but I'll see. I'll see once I've tried it with the waistband on. You guys are saying it looks nice. True Lab's saying it's magic. Yeah, I managed to make a skirt come out of a circle. But yeah, you can kind of see that like there's a lot of, let's see if I hold it up. There's a lot of fabric. But that's not too bad. But yeah, so that's our skirt. The only thing that's missing is the waistband, which I need to cut out. And then also the zip, which is just around here. So if you guys can see that. Bought a zip. I don't know if you've ever seen a zip that's like out of a garment before. I think the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, oh yeah, those have to be like sewn in. Tiny T said it looks nice, and then floofy? Is that not a word that a lot of people say? I say floofy. Usually for something that's sort of floaty and puffy. So that's why floofy doesn't quite work for this, because it's actually quite a heavy skirt. But it means what it sounds like. McKee said, I'd love to wear skirts, but society's painful. I'm male, you know how the roles go. That's some tea. No, yeah, that sucks. You should be able to wear skirts. Everyone should be able to wear skirts. But yeah, as someone who isn't a girl who wears skirts, I hope one day you have the opportunity, because they're cute. I love them. I don't wear them all the time though, because I kind of get the opposite thing. People look at me in a skirt because of my size and stuff like that. They just assume that I am a girl, and I'm like, no! No. But then there's also, I feel like that's frustrating, but not quite as hazardous to my well-being as it would be if people assumed I was a male in a skirt as well, unfortunately. Thanks, I'll try moving to Scotland, said Ricky. You and Tiny T can hang out. Yeah, because I'm a bit further south than Scotland. But hey, it'll be nice and cool compared to Brazil, so maybe that'd be a nice change of pace. Alright, so we have our skirt cut out, which is great, and we have our zip. The one other thing that I need to cut out is my waistband, which is going to be a bit more than 70 centimetres. Matilda said there was this thing in a school nearby where all the boys wore skirts so girls were allowed to wear trousers. That's good. I like that. There's been quite a few different instances for various reasons of boys wearing skirts to school in protest, and I think it's pretty cool. Like, I think A, it's a cool thing to do anyway, but also to see a lot of young men who are comfortable wearing skirts, even just to prove a point, I think it's very cool. Tiny T did point out that in Scotland men wear skirts, they're called kilts, yes. So you'd fit right in. Alright, yes, so we want to cut out our waistband. The reason it's going to be a bit longer than our actual waist is because we're going to have a little bit of a wrap over, like that, with a little hook and bar. And that's just a nice, neat kind of finish. Otherwise, they're kind of just open-ended because the zip goes up to just beneath the waistband. And then there'll be a little hook just to hold it in place. Sometimes it's a button. Sometimes it's a hook and bar. Hook and bar I think will be a bit neater for this because it's a cartoon, so I don't want anything to be like too obvious really. And the zip is the same colour as the skirt so that it blends in. True Lab said, this is so cool, I'm 100% going to use this to make a skirt. Those gosh darn clothing sizes hate me. Oh well, I hope that it makes sense. I feel like you get a lot of what I'm trying to say even when I don't make sense though, Amanda, which is quite lucky. Mickey said, as Daniel said, gender roles are the worst kind of bread. Yes, I love that quote. You can get it on a t-shirt on Redbubble. Lots of different people have put that quote up with nice illustrations. I might get one day. Treat myself. Once I'm no longer spending all my money on my Link cosplay. Because that's what I've basically spent all my money on. I spent a lot of money just in the last week. True Love says, I speak fluent nonsense. Thanks. You're very proficient. Alright, so, waistband. Waistband. So, for the waistband, the third measurement, which I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I'm using 3 base measurements to work all of this stuff out. My waist circumference, my skirt length, and my waistband height, which is how high I want the waistband to sit. How deep I want it to be. I've said that I want it to be 5 centimetres, which is 2 inches, which is about that much of my finger. It's a nice kind of standard height, which I think will just work well for this. It's quite a deep waistband on her skirt. You can kind of see it because her waistcoat literally crops off at her waist. And you can just see where it kind of is looser, the waistcoat. You can see the waistband of the skirt. So, yeah, I'm doing a 5 centimetre waistband. That means it needs to be at least the actual main part of the waistband needs to be 10 centimetres deep because it folds in half. And then I'm going to have 2.5 centimetre seam allowance on either side of that. So then that makes that 15 centimetres deep, 2.5, 10, 2.5. 70 centimetres long, which is my waist measurement, but also we are going to add 2.5 centimetres at one end for seam allowance, and then 2.5 for seam allowance on the other end, but also an extra, I'll go for another 2.5 centimetres on that side just for that little wrap over. It's probably going to go either above or underneath, depending on which direction I want that to do. It will probably be underneath to be a bit neater. But yeah, so that's going to be 77.5 centimetres by 15. Mental maths. Yeah, I used to do maths. I did maths up to A level. And I got a B. So my mental maths isn't too bad, which kind of helps me out. What's quite funny is I've had it a few times at uni in the workroom where a tutor's been like, okay, so it's that plus that, which is, and they like go to reach for a calculator or something, and I'm like, boop, 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 like the woman in Countdown. And they, yeah, that always seems to alarm people. But I just happen to be quite good at mental maths. Right, so I'm just going to move these out of the way. And we will cut out this waistband. So we need to unpin this, unfold our fabric again. TrueLab said you're too powerful. And Tiny said when gender roles were brought up, I got a notification saying, "What are gender roles? Find out here." What a coincidence. Alright, so we only want a single bit of fabric, so we want a nice long bit of fabric, so I'm going to cut this. I'm only using it for this project, so we can just cut away all of this stuff. Now it's not in the way anymore. We can just use this nice bit here. And we'll fold that little bit up. There we go, now we've got a nice big bit of fabric that we can cut out of. So, like I said, we wanted this to be 75 centimetres. I don't think this will tear, so I will get my trusty grading ruler. If you watched my stretchwear tutorial, you would have seen this. I'm just getting my chalk. And I'm back. Yeah, grading ruler is a brilliant thing to have in your kit. Don't know if you can just kind of see that. It's got little centimetre markings, so it's 5 centimetres deep. And it has centimetre and half centimetre markings, and it's also got a ruler. It's kind of hard for me to show you here, maybe you can see it there. It's got ruler on both sides as well. But yeah, so what did we want? We wanted 77.5 centimetres by 15. I'm going to note that down so I don't forget again. So it's 15 and 77.5. Let's see. Amazing diagram there. And there's my little skirt diagram. Helps to have diagrams sometimes. Matilda said I can barely cut paper and you can cut massive bits of fabric. Guess it just comes with experience. I'm a bit less frightened of it now than I used to be. Even when I started university, I used to be nervous about cutting fabric. But when I used to work at a costume maker's, I was a trainee there for a year before I started at uni, and the woman who ran it, one time she turned around to me after I'd messed something up enormously, and she looked at me and she just went, "It's just fabric. It's just fabric." And that was the most reassuring thing I think I've ever been told in my life, because it was this moment of, yeah, no, you know, no one's died, nothing terrible has happened. Worst thing happens, you go and buy more fabric. It's just fabric. It can be replaced. Even really expensive fabric. Obviously I get a bit more nervous the more expensive the fabric is. But this was like £5 or £7 a metre. So the only problem would be that I have to order it again in a few days. But it's fine. So I think it's alright. I am going to actually put my lamp on because it's getting a little bit dark in here now. Oh, it's not plugged in. Sorry guys. There we go, shedding a little bit of light on the situation. How's that? That must look better for you guys now. But yeah, so I am doing my this ruler is 50 centimetres long. So, oh, this fabric is very nice for drawing on with chalk. There you go, you can see that nicely. So that's 50 centimetres, and I'm doing another 27.5, obviously, to get it to 77.5. So there we go. And then I'm going to do the same again. So do 2.5 centimetres down for the seam allowance. Now this is where the grading ruler comes in really handy because it has the lines in the middle. You can just sort of line it up with the chalk line, and then your next chalk line will be perfectly in line with it. Oh, that one's a bit broken, that's why. That's fine. Okay, so that's my seam allowance there. It's just fabric. Everyone needs to hear this amazing quote. Yes, it changed my life. It really did. I used to get so anxious about cutting into anything. I mean, I wasn't when I was younger, but then when I started actually working to do it, you know, so I was getting paid for it and it was being used by someone other than me and stuff, you know? But yeah, I think if you ever have any fear about starting on a project, just remember it's just fabric. And you'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so this next bit is 5 centimetres because it's one side of the waistband, so there we go, and then we're going to do that again, another 5, and then another 2.5, and then we'll do our seam allowances on the ends. Hashtag it's just fabric. These, I think I love the hashtag thing for the streams. It was a really sweet thing that came out of the streams. That will move over to Journey Outfits. Obviously the streams that I have done before on Voyager will stay on Voyager. I won't re-upload them elsewhere. But yeah, I think all of the traditions and the trappings of the casual streams are going to head over there. These streams will be named with like what the project is and what I did in them, just to make sure that it's clear. Because yeah, it's more about the process and stuff like that of making costumes, which is obviously one of my favourite things in the world and what I want Voyager Costume to be about. About making costumes and wearing them and performing in them. If that makes sense. But it's just fabric, it's very cute, and I feel like that's something that I would love on a t-shirt. Maybe I should make that happen. If I ever have Voyager Costume merch, it'll be a t-shirt that just says hashtag it's just fabric. I'd wear it. I feel like some of you guys would wear it too. Oh, that's something I'm curious about actually. Have you guys noticed anything new in the corner of all of my YouTube videos? Any ones that you've watched since yesterday? Matilda and Tiny T would both wear It's Just Fabric shirts. That's good to know. Alright, so I'm going to put 2.5 centimetres of seam allowance on this side. And then it's 2.5 and 2.5 over here. So oh wait, no, I've added that already, haven't I? Yes, I have. There. We're just gonna ignore that line. That was me forgetting that I'd actually prepared myself. I've been very organised today, more organised than I normally am. So it's thrown me off. My manager at work was shocked that I had a packed lunch with me, because I usually forget and have to go and buy something. Alright, so that should now be everything for this waistband, which I'm going to cut out. I think we're just coming up to an hour. I'm not sure, I may end the stream. I'm not, yeah, I might end the stream once I've cut this stuff out. Because I don't think I'd want to go on much more than maybe another half hour at most today, and yeah, it's just a bit, this is quite a nice place to finish. Yeah, Matilda just said it's 9 o'clock. I started a few minutes late, which is why I've not quite hit an hour. Because I realised at the last minute that I hadn't changed this up here, so it still had Yukito. And I wanted to make sure it was Haru, so I went and found a Haru gif that I could use. Tia is sad. Tia sent a sad emoji about me finishing the stream. Yeah, I think, like I said, it's going to vary depending on what I'm working on, how long I'm going to stream for, and just because I've had such a busy week working on the Pearl CMV, it's been such a big task. It's probably the biggest video that I'm going to work on this summer. I'm going to hopefully do another CMV in the late autumn. Matilda said, "Oh no, it's over, isn't it?" I look very funny, thank you. But yeah, so I've not got any other CMVs planned. I've got a lot of cosplay work planned, but my next CMV is hopefully going to be late this year. True Love's gone in the chat because she knows what I'm planning, because we are going to be collaborating on that again. Amanda is, True Love Films, is very talented. Cinematographer, videographer, whatever term she prefers, filmmaker. She studies film at university. She's also a great photo editor as well, and photographer. Tiny T said, "What does CMV mean?" CMV stands for Cosplay Music Video. So it's a music video that features cosplay or is centered around cosplay. So it can be a few different things. It can be like what I did for Hard to Be a Star, or It's Over, Isn't It, are CMVs, but also things like if you've ever watched like those convention videos that show off all the cosplays and they're set to a song, those also count as cosplay music videos as well. The cosplay music videos that I've done so far have all been song covers, or well, a parody song or a song cover, the two of them, and have been me like performing the song and lip syncing the song. Whereas I would like to, the next one that I'm planning to do won't be a song cover, it will be set to music, and it's going to be, I won't say exactly what it is, but it's going to be something very cinematic, shot on location, and it's going to be sort of a showcase of the costume and character, but in a very different way from what I've done before, where it's been centered more on the telling of the song, the story around the song. This next one is going to be much more about the costume and the props and showing the character through that. So I'm excited to try something very different. True Love was blushing about my compliments. But yes, what I was saying about her was, or about you, Amanda, was that it's very nice to work with her because she is incredibly talented, but also we get on really well, obviously, because we're friends, and yeah, also I think we're on a similar wavelength. If I say to Amanda, I want this and this and this, it's like we were saying earlier that she speaks fluent nonsense. Because I say things very weirdly, but she just seems to get what I mean, which is quite good when you're working together on a film and I'm trying to get what I'm visualising in my head into her head so that she can film it. It's quite cool. It's good that we have that sort of understanding together, which is why we're working on a lot of CMVs and stuff like that together at the moment. True Love said, a very good costume and character and amazing cosplayer. Aww. You're too sweet. But yes, so excess fabric, big gone. We now have a completely cut out waistband piece and a cut out skirt piece. Trying to show you guys on the stream, it doesn't fit in. We'll just fold that in half. Ooh. Waistband, skirt, waistband, and zip. Ready to go in. So yeah, so that is, I think, all that I'm going to do today. I hope that I gave you a little bit of an understanding of the maths and stuff that goes into working out a circle skirt, and hopefully it's not too intimidating after that. It's not as complicated as it seems. It's not that much maths even. It's not that difficult, it's just adding, except for working out your circumference and radius, but that just comes from knowing that basic equation. Circumference is equal to 2 times pi times radius. Like I said, there's also instructions and stuff online, plenty about making circle skirts, but I hope this sort of helped you understand a bit of what you would need to do to start making a circle skirt with a waistband and a zip. If you guys are interested in seeing more of how to do this, if this is something that you'd really like to see, and I'm saying this to both the people in the chat now and the people who are in the YouTube chat, do let me know, because it's something I could do as a tutorial with other fabric, and in the summer I'm always looking for more ideas for tutorials and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know. Also, someone quickly asked, is that a Star Trek t-shirt? Yes, it is. It's the Enterprise. I was given this as a gift. Yes, I was given this as a gift by Jeannie, my friend. You know Jeannie, she's been in a lot of my videos. Yeah, she gave me this, I think, a couple of years ago now, actually. And I'm pretty sure we both ended up wearing it to see Star Trek Beyond, which was pretty funny. Either that or I wore it and I was almost entirely certain she would wear hers as well. I can't quite remember. But yeah, she has the same t-shirt. Tiny T says, makes sense because Voyager. You know what, everyone always thinks that my cosplay handle comes from Star Trek Voyager, which it doesn't, and especially because I like Star Trek, people tend to think that. But actually it's from the space probes Voyager 1 and 2. I think Voyager 1 was the specific one that I named it after, or took the name from. I think I talked a bit about that in another live stream on my channel, but I can't quite remember. But maybe I'll go into more detail on that on Monday on my casual live stream, which will be at 9 o'clock BST. So if you want to tune in and ask me a bit more about that, I'm happy to talk about it again. That will be on Journey Outfits. But for now, this stream is going to finish up. Yeah, if you want to see more on how to make a circle skirt, let me know. And if you guys do, then I will make a little tutorial on it. If not, we'll never mention it again. No. Yeah, so I think that's going to be everything for today, guys. And I'm going to wrap up. It was lovely to stream with you. Matilda said, I will be in France, but I'll try to make it. Oh, no worries. It will upload afterwards as it used to on Voyager, so you won't miss it even if you miss it. You'll still be able to watch it back. Like you'll be able to watch this one back on Voyager afterwards. Tia said, hope you all have a great night. Yeah, I hope you guys all have a great night as well. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending time with me while I did this. It was lovely to stream with you as always, and I will be back on Twitch next Saturday, 8 PM as always, and I will be working... Oh no, I completely tell a lie. I will not be back next Saturday on Twitch. I will be away because of... it's my friend's birthday. It's Fairy King Cosplay's birthday, so I will be going to their birthday party. I'm going to another birthday party in the day as well, actually. Wood Smoke and Words is Cosplay's birthday as well. So I'm going to 2 birthday parties. But the next Saturday I will be back and working on Link, and I don't think I'll have a stream off for a good few weeks. So yeah, I will see you guys 2 Saturdays from now, but I will also see you on Monday on my side channel, Jenny Outfits, 9 PM BST. So yes, I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, see you later, mini Voyagers.